Continuing Numbers 22.2. Balak. And Balak the son of Zippor saw that all that Israel had done to the Amorite, and Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was seized with dread because of the children of Israel. And Moab said to the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licks up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was king of Moab at the time. So he sent messengers to Bilam the son of Beor to Petor, which is by the river, to the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Mizraim. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I know that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and he whom thou cursest is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the children of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came to Bilam, and spoke to him the words of Balak. And he said to them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you back word, as the Lord shall speak to me. And the princes of Moab abode with Bilam. And God came to Bilam, and said, What men are these with thee? And Bilam said to God, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent to me, saying, Behold, the people that is come out of Mitzrayim covers the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them. Perhaps I shall be able to overcome them, and drive them out. And God said to Bilam, That shall not go with them. Thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Bilam rose up in the morning and said to the princes of Balak, Go back to your land, for the Lord refuses to give me leave to go with you. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went to Balak and said, Balaam refuses to come with us. And Balak sent again princes greater and more honorable than they. And they came to Bilam and said to him, Thus says Balak, the son of Zippor, Let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming to me, for I will promote thee to very great honor, and I will do whatever thou sayest to me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people. And Bilam answered and said to the servants of Balak, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of the Lord my God to do less or more. Now therefore I pray you, tarry you also here this night, that I may know what the Lord will say further to me. And God came to Bilam at night, and said to him, If the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them, but only that word which I shall say to thee shalt thou do. And Bilam rose in the morning, and saddled his ass, and went with the princes of Moab. And God's anger burned because he went. And the angel of the Lord stood in the way as an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass, and his 2 servants were with him. And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Bilam smote the ass to turn her into the way. But the angel of the Lord stood in the path of the vineyards, a wall being on this side and a wall on that side. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she thrust herself to the wall and crushed Bilam's foot against the wall, and he struck her again. And the angel of the Lord went further, and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she lay down under Bilam, and Bilam's anger burned, and he struck the ass with a staff. And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said to Bilam, What have I done to thee that thou hast struck me these 3 times? And Bilam said to the ass, Because thou hast mocked me. I would there were a sword in my hand, for now I would kill thee. And the ass said to Bilam, Am I not the ass upon which thou hast ridden all thy life to this day? Was I ever wont to do so to thee? And he said, No. Then the Lord opened the eyes of Bilam, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed down his head and fell on his face. And the angel of the Lord said to him, Why hast thou struck thy ass these 3 times? Behold, I went out to waylay thee, because the path is perverse before me. And the ass saw me and turned from me these 3 times. Unless she had turned from me, I would now have slain thee and saved her alive. And Bilam said to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned, for I knew not that thou didst stand in the way against me. Now therefore, if it displeases thee, I will get me back again. And the angel of the Lord said to Bilam, Go with the men, but only the word that I shall speak to thee, that thou shalt speak. So Bilam went with the princes of Balak, and when Balak heard that Bilam was come, he went out to meet him to a city of Moab, which is in the border of Arnon, in the utmost border. And Balak said to Bilam, Did I not earnestly send to thee to call thee? Why camest thou not to me? Am I not able to indeed to promote thee to honor? And Bilam said to Balak, Lo, I am come to thee. Have I now any power at all to say anything? The word that God puts in my mouth, that I shall speak. And Bilam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath Huzoth. And Balak offered oxen and sheep, and sent Bilam and to the princes that were with him. And it came to pass on the morrow that Balak took Balaam, and brought him up to the Bamoth Baal, that thence he might see the utmost part of the people. And Balaam said to Balak, Build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 oxen and 7 rams. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram. And Balaam said to Balak, Stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go. Perhaps the Lord will come to meet me, and whatever he shows me, I will tell thee. And he went to a steep place, and God met Balaam, and he said to him, I have prepared the 7 altars, and I have offered upon every altar a bullock and a ram. And the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth, and said, Return to Balak, and thus thou shalt speak. And he returned, and to him, and behold, he stood by his burnt sacrifice, he and all the princes of Moab. And he took up his discourse, and said, Balak, the king of Moab, has brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east, saying, Come, curse me Yaakov, and come, denounce Israel. How shall I curse whom God has not cursed? Or how shall I denounce whom the Lord has not denounced? For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. It is a people that shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations. Who can count the dust of Yaakov, and the number of the 4th part of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his. And Balak said to him, What hast thou done to me? I took thee to curse my enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether. And he answered and said, Must I not take heed to speak? Must I not take heed to speak that which the Lord has put in my mouth? And Balak said to him, Come, I pray thee, with me to another place, from whence thou mayest see them. Thou shalt see but the utmost part of them, and shalt not see them all. And curse me them from there. Numbers 22.